Chapter 10, The Last Song of Phase 2, page 88. Note: fundamentalists/extremists of all religions receive media support that helps them destroy not only society, but also their own mainstream religions. Fundamentalist Christians sent death threats to the Beatles throughout the tour, John saying that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus, and that Christianity would go intentionally alarmed the extremists who feared that John was correct. In their minds, there was a spiritual war between Christians and the evil Beatles. In the fearfully egoic minds of so-called Christian soldiers, the assault on their faith justified defensive murder for Jesus. Fighting as if to save Christianity from being replaced by the Beatles, fundamentalists incited Christians everywhere to verbally attack the Beatles in the media, churches, and in community meetings. To the extent of those attacks, to follow Jesus, one would stop following the Beatles. With the energy that Christians used to fight the band, they enlarged the Beatles to their own hurt. Many fans, loving their idol as programmed, left Christianity. If the Christians had stayed in love energy rather than dropping to fear, they would have increased themselves rather than energizing Beatlemania. Page 90. Note: part of the Beatles' illusion is from thinking of them as the same four-member band from 1960 to 1970. In reality, however, only John and George were in the band for all those years. While it may be argued that they were three distinct bands, it helps to see them as only one band with three phases. Phase 1, 1960 to 1962, consisting of John, Paul, George, Stuart and Pete, was a club band that usually only performed covers of other artists. Aside from backing Tony Sheridan, they did not do studio recordings. Phase 2, 1962 to 1966, consisting of John, Paul, George and Ringo, with intensive assistance from George Martin and others, acting as if the Lennon-McCartney partnership became a huge sensation, breaking records in both album sales and concert performances. For the first time in history, they had a large enough audience to require a stadium. Phase 3, 1966 to 1970, consisting of Paul, John, George and Ringo, with continued assistance from George Martin and others, was the world's greatest studio band. Page 91. Note: although many Beatles songs borrow elements of other songs, none are as blatant as Revolution, using the instrumental introduction of Pee Wee Crayton's Do Unto Others. To compare them, find Crayton's song online. John, like most everyone, could be at least temporarily swayed either way about the good or evil of destroying the old social order in favour of the new world order. He originally wrote in saying, "But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out?" However, as was again explained to him, the Beatles were not permitted to oppose the NWO or the destruction it required. Hence, in Revolution 1 he added "in" after "out", meaning "you can count me in." Having the "in" on one version and not on the other drew attention to John rethinking it. Many people wonder if the NWO will succeed. For the most part, it already has. The power has been transferred behind the scenes with only a charade of national sovereignty remaining. Central organisations already work through the government, to the point that governmental facades are quickly becoming obsolete. The NWO continues to increase in scope as it gradually comes out of obscurity. Those controlling the media are careful to pace that disclosure. If the public learns too much too soon, they could reverse the new world order of progress. The coup must be revealed little by little as the public accepts one point at a time. Too much public awareness now could overturn the cabal's overthrow and spark court action everywhere for treason and other capital crimes. Ironically, in this information age, the takeover is only possible by controlling and withholding information. Like hiding monuments in plain sight, details in obscure books no longer alarm the masses enough to interfere. Whatever the world is told outside of the mainstream media matters very little now. It cannot sink in. The world is conditioned to trust their primary media sources above all sense to the contrary. The more urgent the matter from any other source, the less it is believed. facts matter very little compared to the problem of sealed paradigms. The alchemical expression diameter spherae thou circuli crux orbis non orbis prosunt translates, the diameter of the sphere, the tau of the circle, and cross of the orbit do not help the blind. Chapter 11, Masonic Checkmate. Page 93. Note, a quality reading can be illuminating, period. If you do not have a deck of tarot cards, we recommend that you get one. Meanwhile, ordinary playing cards will suffice. For insights about emotions, feelings, or relationships, hearts in playing cards equals cups in tarot. Corresponding to your thinking or communication, spades equals swords. For practicalities in the material world, diamonds equals pentacles. For insights about creativity and action, clubs equals wands. Whether reading a tarot, a book, or anything else, embrace whatever resonates with your soul. Whatever does not resonate, let it slip away without resisting it. Whatever we resist sticks to us, increasing whatever we find objectionable. Page 94. Note, in the Beatles' Yellow Submarine playing cards, the Fab Four each dominate one suit and are featured as its king and ace. The suits are the same as in John's picture. George is the king and ace of clubs, wands. Paul is of spades, swords. John is of diamonds, pentacles. And Ringo is of hearts, cups. Know your four kings and aces. Page 95. Note, William sold the plant to John in 1967, the year of Sgt. Pepper's. That same year, the four Beatles, along with 60 other Brits of influence, placed an advertisement in the London Times calling for the legalization of marijuana. In 1970, after a complaint that Paul McCartney was growing pot, police came and confiscated his plants. Although publicly familiar with the herb, Williams said he did not recognize it. According to his masterful plea, he received the seeds in the mail and planted them without knowing what they were. He used the technicality that he could not know each seed's gender, adding plausibility to Williams's claimed ignorance, had failed to top or prune the plants and had not removed the males, resulting in the 5 females becoming pollinated. On the news, police were seen carrying away the male plants. Neglect lowered the quality that year, but strengthened his claim in court that he did not know the gender. Had they all been male, they would have all been low in the forbidden tetrahydrocannabinol, THC.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.